Hey, sup nerds. So I got quite a few thingies since last time I devlogged, I guess. So shut up, villager. Also, the mic will probably echo a bit. Here, let me. And whatever, I don't care. But anyways, packed snowballs. They can, surprisingly, they can kill a villager in a few hits. Okay. Like they do about a heart or like up to a heart and a half of damage. But yeah, if you'll notice, you have to kind of throw them back. Like you have to, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. But yeah, this is the first time I've actually used my voice in a Builds and Barrens devlog. So that's gonna be fun. But yeah, you can get them from this goober. The snow. Oh, that's a child. I just Anyways, yeah, they're certainly something. But yeah, they throw these and that's kind of it. They just throw X snowballs at you. Yeah, it's about it. But there are a few planned things. If you're in my Discord, you will know this already. But there is going to be drops for husks, like husk flesh. Sort of like, I don't know. But there's going to be custom, drops, sort of loot table changes for some mobs. The creeper is just going to start dropping the creeping moss, which I have not shown that either, but yeah, this thing, the waterlogged, and then there's the dried. The dried, I quite like them. They're very goofy. They're silly. Also, the leg animation has been broken for a while. I keep forgetting about it and not fixing it. But yeah, they're just kind of, they're more like mummies than skeletons, but I mean, I feel like that would, fit better in a skeleton, especially such an emaciated one. Like, also, fun fact, the, like, little waist is actually, like, I tried making it in how Minecraft or Mojang would, here, let me make it. So you will notice if it will stand still for one instance, it's actually just the normal skeleton body with like an inner sort of bit, and also the legs are 3 wide instead of just the usual 2 wide. Well, 3 wide from the front, and then of course normally 2 from the side. But yeah, they're a bit goofy, they're a bit silly. Also, fun fact, most of the mobs, like the waterlogged here, the dried, the snowballed, the boombush. Right here, let me get the lineup. So, the Gordel, the Lushly, the glowing, branched, bubbler, boombush, and clayan, snowballed, waterlogged, dried, and frost crackle. Those were all existing like mob ideas I did for an older mod I had made. Also, I just realized I have been talking away from the mic, so yeah, I don't know how the sound quality is gonna be. But I mean, I really don't care. It's a simple devlog. It's not me trying to be all special or unique or anything like that. It's just me showing things. I do not care for reception or really anything. I just like showing people things. And if you decide to, I guess, install my mod, that's cool. That's fine. Somehow this mod has less downloads than Fleshcatcher, even though this is the one that's had the most, the biggest reception on YouTube. Like, there's a lot of views in these. Like, Jesus Christ. But yeah. Also, you'll notice the work in progress entities will, of course, have whip entity above their head. But yeah, there's the table toddler, which I don't think I've shown yet. But he's just a goober. He's just a little guy. Then he can be used as a stool. You can just kind of, use him as a stool. He's a bit silly. I had an idea for a stupid mob with this sort of structure, and I was like, why not bedrock? Also, it is so insane. It's like, it's got like, I want to say like about 80 health. But yeah, it's pretty strong. But yeah, there was I don't remember if I showed like the Gordell. I don't know how I'm supposed to say that. And I made it. Like, I came up with the name, and I don't know how to say it either. So good luck. I'm sure someone can come up with it, but but yeah, I'm working on the like drops and the outcast AI and spawn egg and things. And also the bog bodies, they're tiny. They're small. They always come with this setup. Well, actually, I think they'll burn alive. But yeah. They're just kind of fast. They're like drowned, but they don't swim, and instead they're just fast. Also, they physically are unable to move on land. If they get on land, they'll just sit here and burn if it's day, of course. But it's not. So you know what I mean. Also, I might give them a baby variant. But it's going to be even rarer than, baby zombies, because bog bodies are just, they're just like in real life, they're just a sad, they're a sad thing. Like, they're just people that were like buried. They're just like buried underwater or just sunk into a marsh in poor, like oxygen deficient waters. And just rotted there. This guy was this one was actually based on the Toland man, which was found in Denmark, I think. If I'm correct, it was Denmark, which fun little thingy. And then there's the concretions, which I tried. I don't know what I was doing with that devlog. Honestly, every time I've made a devlog, I've just kind of, I'm just doing things, man. But yeah, the Gordeo, they're very silly. Also, they're scaled up slightly because normally they looked absolutely stupid. I mean, they still look stupid, but less disproportionate. Oh, hey, it's snowing. How festive! We got pumpkins. It's not even Christmas. I should kill this guy. But yeah, I don't remember. I know I think I showed you guys the this. But oh, no, give me. Okay. But yeah, if you can catch them, because they're quite restless. Yep, that's them under the pumpkin. Outright hideous. Like, tell me, tell me that face isn't just. I don't even know. Like this was part of them from the start. Like this, well, I mean, it wasn't a feature, but like there was the whole idea of shaving off their like protective, pumpkin, which is not even a pumpkin necessarily. It's just like something they grow. They just kind of do that to blend in and shit. But like they just make that, like, it doesn't hurt when you shave them off. But then they are literally just like they just don't they just they just look so sad. And like literally I'm going to make them act sad. Like sort of hunched over and everything too once you shear them, like afraid to be seen. Because I mean, look at him. Look at this pathetic. Look at the pathetic. Oh, I keep dropping things because I'm clumsy. But yeah, that will be removed soon once I get all situated. But also as you saw, I go on tangents. But as you saw, there's gonna be little baby variants of all the zombies and some of the variants. There's going to be well, there's not going to be baby like outcasts because they're normal villagers, right? But they were just outcasted. They don't quite act the same as normal villagers. Like they're fine to just chill. Like as you'll see when they're in proximity of a vandal, like they're fine with waving their arms around, sort of using them for momentum as they jump away. Like they're fine. Like they'll just they'll build, which is actually going to be expounded or expanded upon once I figure out how to do semi good village generation. Also, I don't have it open, but the clan is actually like probably the most complex, even though it's just like it. By the most complex, I mean it was the hardest to get right, and it's still kind of janky because sometimes when it reshapes, it'll sort of be a bit wonky and it'll just be bent completely backwards. But yeah, if I keep damaging it here, sometimes it's with fists, sometimes it sometimes it just does that before it goes to that next shaping, and I can't quite fix that. I don't know why it happens. I'm sure I did all the math. Actually, I might have not done all the math correctly. I think I think I know why now. It should just be simple. Well, I don't know because I can't remember if damage is calculated in whole numbers or if there are decimals. Because there is you'll see sometimes you'll get I thought. Is there? Huh. Well then, never mind. But yeah, they're just kind of here. Also, fun fact: there is skeleton variant. That's why you won't see any other, skeleton-looking variants in, the Badlands. They are a skeleton variant. They're just concretion thing covered in sediment and muck turned into this. Also, there's a painting which has it kind of which has a little certain other mob sort of peeking out. I don't know why it's normal text instead of yellow, but You'll see, like it's in there. He's in there. He's in there. He's just chilling in there. Of course, this is not really something that's explicitly, canon to this mod, but it's just a fun little painting, sort of artistic, I guess. I mean, I used to be called artistic or artistry the idiot for a reason. I mean, I'm still a complete dunce, but uh, I don't know, man. I'm just kind of here. Also, I will say there is a food item for, well, food. I mean, it's just frozen flesh, but you can you'll be able to cook this frozen flesh, which it doesn't give all that great food points, but it actually drains your saturation, and it's edible at any time. So if you need a little restock on, I guess, things that require you to be hungry to eat them, then you can just kind of chomp down on a few of these. They'll start draining, and then blah blah blah. You get the idea. But it's essentially the opposite deal with prickle peaches, which I was going to do pears, but then I was like, nah, that's too generic. So yeah, now they're peaches, and they're not really peach shaped, but you'll see they've got the general idea to it, sort of the heart shape, just sort of a bit more round or sharp on the bottom. Also, yes, you can eat these. Intentional feature. Don't worry. If I'm being weird, it's likely on purpose. But yeah, you can also just kind of use them on snow blocks and spawn a new frost crackle. I don't know. I was out of ideas for the name. I don't know. But yeah, you can right click them. They'll sort of come to you, and it'll put them out if they're on fire. So that's fun. But also, real quick, there was a thing I was going to do for the. And have to add them to. Sorry, the creative inventory is a bit, screwed up currently because I'm still, setting everything up, making sure everything's. Also, creeping mouse. It's very silly, but yeah, so I guess I'll just slash. Well, actually, I likely have. Yeah, I have quite a few in my survival inventory. But yeah, pack snowballs. They were originally going to, sort of freeze. Not give slowness, but literally freeze whatever it hits, with the powdered snow. But it's more of just for the effect. Not really, it wouldn't do any freeze damage. But yeah, it would just, thwack them and just sort of also quite it's just it's just a normal snowball thing, but with a bit of added ice snowflake particle, which I don't know how this particle is snowflake, but I mean I guess it fits. I don't know. It's just kind of here. It's just there. That's about it, I think. Yeah, well, there is the boom bulb, but I mean, I've already shown that and sort of its functionality. I think I've done several takes on this video because I just keep adding more things. Also, this, most of the items that I'm going to be adding, they're more of just they're useful in situations where you don't really have much. They're just kind of starter things. So I thought, you know what? why not make this sort of, like, it's a good tool. Like, it does a decent amount of damage. Not too much, but it's, I guess, it's, like, better than a wooden sword, but, you know, not as great as a wooden axe, plus, you know. But it also, like, you can dig faster with this, like, survival, so if you were to just, you know, do that, it's, you know, it's fine, I guess. But then you take this out, and it's a pretty good thing. Like, it's not good, it's not great as a, you know, like, pickaxe, because you won't get the item, and it's relatively slow, but as a shovel, it's quite good. It's good. It's, of course, not the best as a... Oh, I fell in a hole. It's not the best as a shovel, but if you need something quick and you don't really have much to your name, then you can just sort of... Although, albeit they are kind of rare to drop, they won't, like, drop every time. Same with the... Like, look at that. It's good. Like, it's good against clans. Also, I might change the drop. Well, no, because it only, like, burnt terracotta, you're supposed, like, there's one thing. Do not clear out all the burnt terracotta, because otherwise clan can't spawn. Because they can only spawn if there is a burnt terracotta or windswept sand nearby. And, well, you know, otherwise they just won't spawn. Also, they can spawn anywhere where there's one of those blocks nearby. So if I were to just, you know, like, place those down here, there would eventually be, you know, a clan spawning nearby. It's only in like a 20 block radius, so you'd have to make a fairly large platform to, you know, get any consistent spawns, but, you know, it's good for what it is. It's a nice little mechanic. I was literally like I was thinking, hey, what might Microsoft and Mojang do? I mean, sure, Microsoft doesn't. They don't influence much on the game, I don't think. But then again, it's sort of hard to tell since I'm just a player. I'm not part of them. So, but like, you know, I was thinking, what might they do? Because I know they've been, you know, on the conservation route. And it's a nice little, you know, way to input that without it being, you know, detrimental or like lazy. It's a nice feature. It's cool. It's interesting. You can make a lot of different farms and different things using it. And yeah, also I will say there will be a way to sort of not duplicate, well, like, you know how shulkers sometimes duplicate when, you know, they're hit, like sort of split like that? There will be a function similar to that for the bubbler, but it's more, it's different. It's a weird way that I'm going to do it. I don't know the specifics, but I do know that there will be sort of like a growing feature part of it. Like, not growing a statue, of course, but, you know, growing the, like, sort of coral type thing that they are, you know, sort of activated by. Because the thing they are, like, they're not the statue, they are the coral. The coral is magic. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting trying to figure out, you know, what I'm really gonna do with everything here. Because it's not something that, it's not, I don't know how to explain it. It's like, when I make my mods, I have to try and figure out, hey, if Mojang was, you know, trying to do this stuff, like even with Fleshcatcher, sure, it's nothing that it would be in the vanilla game, but it takes all the aspects of, like, hey, would Mojang make it undefeatable, inescapable? No, they wouldn't. Would they make it like out too realistic? No, they would of course make it a bit cartoony. They wouldn't make it, you know, outright like obviously flesh. So like down to the design, I try to make everything sort of, you know, fit in its own macabre, grotesque way. But then there's also the fact that I haven't updated it in a while. It's kind of on hiatus because I'm, you know, starting to get more on over to. Oh, that's a child. Okay, I can't sprint. Okay, no. Okay, well, but you know what I mean. Like you have to sort of think of everything. Also, yeah, torches and fire and flame, and even like you know the little like vignette. Like I even did that. Like you'll notice they're like I did the firework flash particle. The sun, the moon. Oh, I got shot. Oh, I thought I. There's this one mod that's also going to be brought back. It was in the same mod with this thing, but it was called Jeremiah. It's surprisingly got quite a bit of lore to it that has to do with the Dried, but it is a skeleton variant, albeit not in the traditional sense. It's not an actual skeleton. It's more of just, you know, oh never mind. But it's more of just, you know, statue, sort of like the bubbler, but, you know, more of enchanted, not just, you know, a goofy little thing. Also, there will be, I don't know if I'm going to make, like, a bone type for the Stray, or, like, I might for the Wither, but I don't quite know exactly, because, you know, also creepers will drop a bit of creeping moss. That is something I plan to do. Well, but yeah, like this is less of a devlog and more of me just kind of clarifying a few things, you know, telling you guys what I plan to do, even though there's not really much I am planning. Ooh, okay. But you know, like it's a mod. I'm still working on it. It's not finished. It really won't be anytime soon. Like literally, this mod is planned to go on far further than Fleshcatcher. Like sure, Fleshcatcher is, you know, supposed to be sort of evolving as Minecraft evolves, but like this is really like, you know, what is going to be my whole thing. Like this is what I'm going to build everything upon. Like Fleshcatcher, it's more of just for, hey, this is what I'm using to get my name out there in the world of modding. Like, oh dang it. But like, hey, I can figure out some pretty unique things. I won't just do everything that, you know, everyone else is doing. Like the creeper variants. I feel like the ones I've made are fairly definitely unique. Oh, baby squid. But like, you know, they're not just what everyone else is making. Like just exactly a creeper, just like sort of reskinned and slightly redesigned. Like the Lushly. It's a creeper, of course. It's a creeper subvariant, but it just takes Mimic to a whole different subsection, and then it's just, you know, like it doesn't act the same way as a creeper. It lures the player in by, you know, trying to look friendly until it's close enough to just gnaw into their heads. Or glowing. It does that to glowing now too. So that's fun. Actually, that's actually a good way to, you know, sort of get a good outside view on it. And then the boom bush, it's definitely it's gonna get not like a redesign or anything, but it's gonna get a bit of a, it'll be worked on. I still have to work some kinks out on it, just like the clan, the outcast is obviously still work in progress. The Gordao, I'm fairly certain I'm going to add more things to that, but also there's a funny little thingy I did with the Lushly once it kills a glowing. Like it won't kill the yeah, it won't go after the branch. Also, like this is literally like this is the same creature. It's just, like it is the glowing. It's just its skin was chewed off, I guess. Like literally, like it's still alive. It's still the same old guy. Its nervous system, well, branch system, I guess, is still there. Also, yes, the arms being sort of offset a bit is intentional. Don't quite remember exactly why I did that. Or just, to make it look a bit unsettling. Just a bit different. Obviously not, like, they're not obviously, like, good. They're not obviously a cute little thing. There's a bit of a weird aspect, like, just the face, the nose that looks like a mouth. You'll see, like, there's a bit of shading that implies, hey, it's not something that's going in, it's jutting out a bit. Like, there's a bit of highlights in it rather than shadows. So, yeah, it's... I really can't wait to see like, how this sort of does in... Like, I hope it surpasses Fleshcatcher, because, Jesus Christ, Fleshcatcher is sort of just... Fleshcatcher is... I don't know how to explain it. Like, it's a good mod. I like, it's supposed to be a good mod. It's supposed to be sort of an introduction, but it's not supposed to be, the staple mod. This is going to be, the whole thing. The one thing is, I'm likely going to change green ash to actually be a bit green. Like, imagine what people thought, like, azalea would be. Like, that sort of green, but mixed with, like, jungle. I don't know how to explain it other than that. Like, as it gets lighter, it goes more into that jungle color, and as it gets darker, more into that greenish hue. But yeah, also, just saying, eroded bedrock, that will have quite a bit more put into it. It's not just going to be, something for decoration. Something I've forgot to work on a bit for this is it will replace a few, blocks in the nether roof. Not all of it. It'll be more like, splotches, I guess. Like, not overly splotchy, just kind of like a few patches. And it'll be more like dotting it rather than, outright, just things. But if you don't know what eroded bedrock is, it's kind of just bedrock, but you can mine it. It is longer to mine than obsidian, but it is obtainable. It is obtainable with a diamond, thing or higher. Also, I'm still working on the, like, shadowing and things for this, because I'm like tweaking the model, I'm tweaking, the visual code, trying to get it to actually have smooth lighting, but it's kind of confusing because it's with the it's with the whole being able to walk through it bit. That's what's making it not really have. Well, does it have smooth light? Yeah, it does. I don't know, because it the problem is it doesn't use the same sort of smooth lighting that normal leaves do. So it's confusing and weird to, figure out. Let me well, does it? I really can't tell, man. I'm confused by my own mods. I don't know. I'm just kind of here. This has kind of just been me rambling quite a bit. But yeah, if you have, I guess, any sort of questions about how this mod is going to turn out and my goals for it, just go to my Discord if you have it, of course. If not, you can just kind of, just comment on the video. I'll likely answer the question, keyword likely, but it'll only be, once I realize, oh hey, someone's posted a comment. So yeah, this is gonna be fun. This is going to be a fun mod to figure out what I'm doing with. I know what I'm doing. It's just it takes quite a bit for me to figure out where I'm headed, because I don't know how to explain it. I'm rambling. You